Hello everybody, I'm Maggie Hart and I'm delighted to be presenting to you today about developing an online weekly curriculum for children ages 0 to 18. So what the presentation is going to look at, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm going to introduce you to the Together 21 project, looked at how we embrace new technology, what the project now was offering for children and parents, carers over our online COVID experience time. I'm going to look a little bit at a resource pack that we made and produced for all our families. A quick overview of the curriculum, looking at the physical session that we added into our online sessions with the children as well, and then some feedback, the positive and challenges of an online curriculum as fed back by staff members, volunteers, parents, and a few testimonials. So I hope that you will enjoy this and find it informative. So we are based, Together 21 is a project that is based within a big charity called the Pioneer Care Partnership, and we're based in Newton Aycliffe in County Durham in the northeast of England. So a little bit about Together 21. We were founded in 2017. We take children, whoever can get to us. They come from lots of different counties around where we live, and we cover a lot of different areas. We currently have 52 children who attend sessions, and we work with parents and their children to really help equip them with skills for the future. So what we did pre-COVID, we had Friday sessions for our 0 to 4 year olds, and that was for 2.5 hours every week, where we did early development skill learning. And then on a Saturday, we did our school sessions, so our 4 to 11, and then our life skills 11 to 18. And we were all meeting face to face, and this happened at Newton Aycliffe in the centre, the Pioneer Care Centre itself. And then obviously, as we all know, lockdown came, we could no longer meet face to face. It became very evident that parents and children were frightened, that nurseries and schools began to shut, and it was a great time of uncertainty for us all. However, as a project, we do have a very much a family feel around our project. We do call ourselves a Together 21 family, and we knew that it was vital for us to keep in touch. And in order to do that effectively, when we couldn't see each other face to face, we needed to embrace some technology. So from starting with looking at Zoom, which I'd never even heard of before lockdown, we were accessing more WhatsApp groups, able to put ourselves on Facebook and utilise that a bit better, and Messenger. So we knew that we needed to communicate with each other, and we hope that we have managed to do that successfully during this time. So we piloted our home learning initially to see how it was working and what we could do, and a lot of the staff were furloughed, so it wasn't a true picture of how we were wanting to run it, but it was a really good way of thinking what worked well and things that we needed to try and include in our online sessions. And as I said before, we needed Zoom to facilitate this, and we needed lots and lots of practice to get it right. So what we offered then during our online session was every week, every child was allocated a work bubble depending on their age. So bubble 1 was our 0 to 4, our 0 to 1 year old group, up to bubble 9. That was with our 14 to 17, 18 year olds in the age. So they all were spread out amongst 9 bubbles. They're invited to attend weekly work and movement sessions online. Each work bubble had a group leader. This was different to what we did pre-COVID, because our children would carousel around different activities with different group leaders. We couldn't facilitate that meaningfully via Zoom, so we went to a group leader approach. Every child was sent a resource pack. They were all invited to participate in an online video performance that we put together. They were invited to the World Down Syndrome celebrations that we did as a project online, and to attend the Christmas party as well. So we had some lovely things that we were wanting our children to do. And every parent and carer was added to their own WhatsApp bubble. This meant that bubble one, all the parents and carers in bubble one had the group leader input. They could talk amongst themselves. The group leader would say, please can you bring this to the session, or I'm going to try this. Can you see if you've got these things at home? So that was really well used, and it was something that we will continue to keep in as we move forward. We kept parents informed via email, WhatsApp. As I said, we had our own individual bubble WhatsApp, then we had a Friday group WhatsApp and a Saturday group WhatsApp and a life skills WhatsApp. So parents still could talk to people outside of their bubble. All parents and carers were invited to participate in wine and wine Zoom sessions, which were really well attended. And it was exactly what it said, to have a glass of wine and to express concerns, worries, or things that have been going well. All of our groups and families were invited to attend speech and language specific workshops to their own little group. So they had met with Monica Bray, who was our speech and language education therapist, and she was able to work with parents and answer specific questions, which was found very useful. And those parents also and carers were also invited to attend virtual coffee mornings with their group leader within their individual bubbles, which meant, because we were losing a lot of the parent time structure that we had pre-COVID, we were trying to find and make creative ways of making sure that we were still talking and people were still being heard and listened to. This is an example of our home resource pack. This is just a few of the things that went in. Obviously, the babies didn't have the British coin word map in, but it did have the keywords and the articulograms and the basic pneumicon. So the packs were differentiated, and to the life skills pack, where it had kind of everything in, talking about emotions, seasons, timetable, money, time. So a lot of thought had gone into this, and these were all sent out to parents, and feedback was incredibly positive that they had those as a resource there and then. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a flavour of what we are trying to achieve with our little ones through both our online curriculum and our curriculum that wasn't online. So with our baby curriculum, we're looking at speech sounds, and really wanting our little ones to hear those, to keep them instilled in their brain, and hopefully to begin to produce some. We do lots of focus work around looking and listening and being attentive. Lots of experiences of messy play, being able to touch things that are soft, sticky, wet, cold. So lots of messy play sessions went on via Zoom, which was amazing. We work on our memory with our little ones and begin to incorporate early number. So we're just making sure that our little ones are really becoming attentive and beginning to get some good foundations to begin to learn. As we move into the preschool curriculum, we take a lot of what we've already done in the babies. We don't just throw that away, but we move on and we look more at personal books and personal words, making the learning more relevant to our little people. And we know that reading is a strength, and we introduce that early. We will be concentrating on numbers 1 to 10. Some of our children do get higher than that, but the average is 1 to 10. We do lots of turn taking and sharing, and we do encourage lots of signing and singing and speaking in these sessions as well. So we're getting them school ready. For our school age curriculum, of course, we're doing a lot of what we did with our preschool curriculum, but now we're putting a bigger emphasis on fine and gross motor skills, being able to hold our pencils, to use scissors, all those skills that you need in a classroom setting to really encourage that. We're looking at using our communication in a really purposeful way. We're looking at working in teams, developing friendships, and really wanting our little ones to experience being part of a group. When they first come to the school age group, a lot of our little ones can be quite insular in how they interact, but very quickly we're encouraging that, and we're facilitating and scaffolding those opportunities for friendships and teamwork and group work to take place. We also put an emphasis on performing for all our children throughout all the curriculum, but especially with our school age children, lots of singing and signing, and we video them and we let them look and share, and they really enjoy that. Now we move on to our life skills curriculum, and this is with our older children, and this does take quite a distinct, has a very different feel to the other groups. We are now really looking at developing skills for our children to be as independent as possible. We'll be looking at money, shopping, cooking, and Jess was doing some cold cooking here on her Zoom session. They were all making different sandwiches. They had to get their ingredients beforehand, say what they were going to sandwich that they wanted. So they then did a tally of whose was the favourite and that kind of thing. So it was really purposeful and when they were doing this one, so it was lovely. We also do a lot of work around personal hygiene. Obviously as our children are getting older, we can't just assume that that's going to happen. It needs that constant reinforcement in a very protracted and controlled way. Travel training, it was part of our non-COVID curriculum, has had to be put on a bit of a back burner because we weren't really going anywhere at the moment. But the thing that we were able to still do within our online curriculum life skills session was the enterprise element of the group, where we are looking at this life skills group producing things to sell and to organise tombolas so that they can raise money for their group, and then they decide what they want to do with that money, whether to go out to eat somewhere, to go on a day trip, to go to the cinema. So as a collective group, they work together, they come up with the ideas, and that's a really nice and grown up part of our life skills curriculum. Alongside this, when we were doing our online curriculum, we really needed and felt that we needed to get our children moving and more physical. So we have a lovely young group leader called Sam, who all the children adore him, and he provided his own 30-minute weekly movement session. Our children were doing some wheelchair dancing, some yoga, some specific little sequence of activities. So there was a variety, and from our real tiddlies to our older ones, that everybody got involved, but they had their own session. So again, those sessions were offered to the bubbles themselves. So at the end, really, we tried to collect data, and we did collect a lot of data, but we wanted to look at the positives of Zoom sessions and at the challenges of the Zoom sessions. So as you can see, there were lots of positives that came out. Enjoying seeing their friends. Some of our new parents that we haven't met before, who had new babies during lockdown, were able to pick up Makaton signs and learn signs. Everybody really enjoyed the resource pack. Positive things were, it was for some parents was really nice to have some focused time when the days were a bit unstructured and things were a bit stressy. It was nice to be able to sort of come and focus together. Lots of feedback about the children getting involved in the fundraising and performance challenges. We set everybody a task, together 21 tasks to raise money, and the children performed brilliantly, and in total we raised about £12,000 for a small project. That was really impressive, and it really sort of developed quite a lot of excitement, especially amongst the older children, saying where the target was and how much money they were getting, and how that, you know, what targets and challenges everybody was doing. So that was really nice. Positive of Zoom sessions, everybody had to improve their IT skills, from the children through to the adults, and it was lovely to see our children being able to develop some of those skills really quite quickly, that they were able to mute themselves when asked. They were obviously able to unmute themselves when they weren't told to as well. And learning to communicate over video does give a different experience of having to potentially, you know, speak clearly, wait for other people to have their time. So I think that is a skill in itself. Some of the challenges, though, for some of our children, they really just didn't like interacting on Zoom. They really do prefer a face-to-face approach. Some of our parents didn't have big screen iPads, or so they had access to small phones, so the screen in itself, so it wasn't a very visual, exciting experience. We did have huge problems with intermittent internet connection, and the timing of the sessions for some of the families wasn't great. And at the beginning we did have technical difficulties in sharing videos that we were using within the sessions, and that was something new that we did not do previously during our pre-COVID sessions. We didn't use an iPad or did lots of video work really during the sessions, but we did, to make it more visual and interactive and engaging. We did use, though, once we found a software package called Open Broadcaster software, which allowed for video recording and streaming to be much more successfully done. So for the audience, that really had improved. So whilst there were challenges, we couldn't fix all of them, but we tried to address as many as we could that was within our control. And now coming to, sort of summing it up really about why the group was important and what we'd done. And this is Eve's story, and from Eve's 3. So it says, during the pandemic, all of the groups and therapy sessions that Eve attended were cancelled. We really struggled with this. Having to take over the role of Eve's physiotherapist, speech and language therapist, portage worker, while also working and trying to homeschool her older brother was very challenging and stressful. Once the weekly Zoom sessions started and we received our pack of resources from Together 21, this helped us to get back a bit of normality, and it gave us some ideas for activities that we could do with Eve to help her develop. It was also nice to see other parents, even if it was only via Zoom, as we really missed the social interaction of the group. We are looking forward to face-to-face sessions resuming. And this is one, skip forward. And this is somebody from our life skills group that Together 21 went entirely online during the first lockdown and had continued like that since. It was brilliant for us that Emma still had weekly meetings and initially a twice weekly meeting with her friends online. The activities were fun and the activity packs were really useful to use during sessions and away from sessions. It helped us to keep Emma focused and feel that her friends were still there even though she couldn't meet them in person. We enjoyed working towards various group films, e.g. the signing songs, and seeing the results posted online. It helped Emma to feel that she was still part of a community. And I think as a project, that's really very much what we wanted to do. We do feel like we're a family. We do support each other. All our parents and carers are very supportive, get a lot of peer support from each other, and the children have developing lovely relationships too. So that was really good to hear. So now we are moving slightly away from COVID, fingers crossed. We are being able to meet now in person, and we're starting to get together again. This is our older group. We're making great use of our garden and outdoor facilities at the Pioneer Care Centre, which is fantastic. We're hoping that we'll be able to see a lot more of each other soon. And just would like to say thank you for listening, and please do come and visit if you're in the area. We'd love to show you our ideas and what we're doing, and we'd love to learn from other people too. So take care, keep safe, love and best wishes from all the Together 21 family. And we just have, if anybody would like to follow us on Facebook, this is the link to it, or put Together 21 and the symbol will come up, and that will show you all the kind of things that we do. Thank you very much for listening. Yes, and keep well and keep safe. Thank you.